Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first ever virtual Chamber AGM. If you had told me at the start of the year that we would be conducting our AGM like this, I would have not believed it. For this address, I have deliberately not focused on the other achievements of the Chamber prior to COVID-19, as these we have reflected on in the annual review, which you would have received electronically. This year started with quite a jolt, a spark, if you like, when very severe and devastating wildfires spread across Australia. I reflect on this major climate change event. It was almost as if the environment itself was warning us that something far more dangerous was about to be unleashed on the world. As I'm sure you are aware, that there is a high probability that the COVID-19 virus jumped from a wild animal, a bat, to a human. This zoonotic event has had disastrous implications for human life and the global economy, and further highlights the dangers associated with the illicit trade of wildlife species. At the beginning of April, we as a Chamber put in place a joint operations committee to identify the most critical areas of support for COVID-19. As doctors and the health department brought to our attention the pressing needs, we were well positioned to respond with speed to the crisis. I am very proud of the way the team rallied together and got a war room going, renovated hospitals, designed and manufactured masks and ventilators, secured donations of critical medical supplies, and developed a field hospital plan. Many of these initiatives are ongoing and are proving to be vital in terms of supporting the medical fraternity in our district, who are the front line of this crisis. In particular, I need to recognize our fellow members and leaders from Aspen, Isuzu, Gendermark, and VW for playing such a key and pivotal role in putting our plans into action, as well as the numerous other companies, individuals, and partners who have contributed generously to our Ubuntu COVID-19 fund. They all continue to selflessly put the needs of this community first. Our Chamber team, led by Nokita Mona, have worked tirelessly over the past 2 months to give added support and leadership to all these urgent projects, whilst ensuring the day-to-day work and support to our members during this very difficult period continues. A big thank you to every one of you. Up until now, it has been important that our focus has been on dealing with the immediate COVID crisis. But as the epidemic drags on, we need to also shift our focus to how this is impacting the operations of business. This is not just a global health crisis, which has caused a severe economic crisis. It's a major revolution. It has completely changed the world as we know it, causing human behavior to be permanently altered. Remote working has become the new norm. Technology is being utilized in imaginative new ways to conduct a business. Home deliveries have soared in popularity. Issues of hygiene and social distancing are uppermost on people's minds. And most now know and accept that climate change is real. Coupled with this, the economic repercussions are massive and are impacting upon most of our businesses our employees, our value chains, and the broader community as a whole. To survive this new world, we will need to reset our businesses. A reset is necessary because the businesses which we are running have become completely and unimaginably different from where they were just a couple of weeks ago. This in turn has created the ideal opportunity for us to create a clean slate and in a way to start over. In order to reset our businesses, we need to reimagine. We need to re-event, if you like, re-engineer, and restore, if you like, retool. This won't be easy, but it is necessary for our long-term survival. I see partnerships and the collaboration with stakeholders as being the foundation for this reset process. In fact, this very crisis has demonstrated the importance of public-private partnerships and the impact of small and big businesses can make when they come together in a meaningful way to serve a common purpose. Through the work of the Chamber JOC, it has been very encouraging to note that right from the start, government recognized the need to eliminate bureaucracy so that the business community could move forward and do the right thing for the community. This enabled the renovations of hospitals to take place in under 10 days, which in normal circumstances would have taken 6 months or longer. We were invited to participate in the local command center comprising of all the main stakeholders, both government, health, and business representatives. It also means that a critically important field hospital could be developed at an empty manufacturing site in the Bay. And as we navigate our way through a very difficult and fractured economic environment, we will need to work even more closely together. This means that we as business will need to become even more intertwined with our local community and prioritize the supporting of other local businesses, thus ensuring our mutual sustainability. Considering our radically changed environment, I see the following as the core priorities of this business chamber going forward. Firstly, the resetting of a trade and investment strategy for Nelson Mandela Bay. This will require innovative and out-the-box thinking. Some sectors will fall away. New ones will emerge, while others will need to reinvent themselves. We will need to deploy some big picture thinking to ensure that we reimagine and recreate a new landscape, which will give our metro a competitive edge. Secondly, the resetting of our focus on the basics. Together with key stakeholders, we need to deploy agility and flexibility in implementing solutions which will provide secure water supply, alternative forms of energy, a clean city, quality road networks, security of food supply, and so on. The more resilient and self-sufficient we can become as a metro, the better we will be able to withstand the challenges which COVID-19 has brought, plus the many more which will come at us in the future. Thirdly, the resetting of our focus on the community and the environment. This crisis has really magnified the massive inequalities which we face in this country, and it is in all of our best interests that we work together to take proactive steps to urgently address this unacceptable situation. If anything, this crisis has taught us is that now more than ever before, our relationship as humankind with nature needs to be revisited. What actions can we take to reduce the threat of future pandemics and address the climate emergency which faces us? Nelson Mandela Bay has beautiful, unspoiled beaches, some of the greatest biodiversity in the world, and some incredible game reserves. Shouldn't we be building upon this so that we can become the top climate change city in South Africa and even on the African continent? Fourthly, the resetting of stakeholder partnerships. This crisis has brought us all together, but afterwards, we cannot revert back to our old ways. In particular, the Metro has for some time been dysfunctional. This cannot continue and needs to move from dysfunctionality to agility. Effective public-private partnerships are what is required to build a resilient metro, offering an enabling environment, which in turn promotes the sustainability of a business and ultimately empowers the stakeholders to support the communities and environments in which they operate. Finally, we must not forget the important role Labour has in partnering with business and government to deal with the economic fallout from this crisis. Now more than ever before is the time for mature and constructive engagement to ensure that sustainable and resilient businesses can be built for the future. There is no doubt that COVID-19 will still cause much more harm to our economy, but we can't let this stifle our thinking and prevent us from taking action. Now is the time for a reset. I appeal to all the stakeholders, in particularly the Metro, government, the politicians, NGOs, organised labour, and the business community as a whole. Let's all become active citizens and play our part in resetting our future. I opened up my address talking about how nature is rebelling against humankind. Never before has there been a moment like this, one where we as human beings need to take a step back and reconsider the consequences of our actions. Can we change things before it is too late? Can we reset and create an environment in which nature and humankind can both thrive? If anything, these pictures of animals in South Africa coming out into the open during the lockdown sent a strong message to us. It is possible to reset. We must continue to change our behavior to do so. I thank you.